Welcome to another edition of FUTStock, where we discuss all things FIFA Ultimate Team. I am Matt Aguilera.
And I am Matt Metzlander.
Look, there's something we need to tell you. I'm getting all nervous now, it's strange. It's another edition, but actually this is the bona fide last edition of FUTStock. We haven't done an episode for about a month, and we came to the conclusion together there is a consensus, nobody's fallen out before you start making things up. We've come to a consensus that this will be our last episode because we're both not as passionate as we should be about it. Now, Metz, I am talking for you there, so if you want to bring the colour in of how you see things, and perhaps between the pair of us we can come to a honest conclusion with our listeners.
Yeah, I mean, it's only fair that we give people some context as to why we sort of reached this conclusion. But we've been doing this nearly every week for 2 years solid. And it's fair to say that our enthusiasm, both for doing a podcast and for Ultimate Team in general, was way bigger in early 2015 than it is right now. And it's just gotten to a point where it's not as much fun as it should be. Various things have happened along the way, which have sort of changed our tune. Chemgate was a big one. I really seriously started to distrust FIFA after that, and it left a sour taste in my mouth. And once Chemgate sort of happened, we didn't record for several months after that. We seriously considered just not playing Ultimate Team anymore, never mind doing a podcast. And since then, you started a business. I'm really busy at work. We want to play games other than FIFA. We're a little bit bored of Ultimate Team. And if you want to do a podcast to the best of your ability, you have to be passionate about it, and we're just not anymore. I think I can be honest and say that whilst I've been a little bit proud of what we've done as a podcast on a whole, that this latest run wasn't as good as what we did on FUTHead, and why would we want to do something substandard? So we've decided that we wanted to say goodbye to the people who have stuck with us and given us support over the last 2 years, or even if you just joined us in this initial run of the new FUTStock for the last 12 weeks. Thank you ever so much. We really appreciated it. But we've almost run out of things to talk about, really. That's about it.
It's a sad day to reflect on this and say that, but the truthful thing is, obviously, yes, Chemgate did happen, and we had, to be honest with you, we've had a lot of shit as well. People just getting in touch and saying, like, giving us crap on Twitter or going to the comments and saying negative things. And really, when your enthusiasm is waning anyway, literally, we give this time up for free for people, which, you didn't ask us to do this podcast. We get that. You didn't ask us to do this show. But to get like negative comments when your enthusiasm is waning, I'm laughing now, but actually it isn't very funny, really, I have to say. It obviously it dims it even more. And I know you meant to rise above it and all that kind of stuff, but we literally, I'm just going to talk from my perspective. I'll let Metz talk more from his if he wishes to. I get fuck all out of this now, FUTStock. I've not enjoyed it for a good while, and in terms of for the pain that it takes to actually get it done, get together and do it. Me and Matt are friends from a long time ago, but a lot of our interaction has been about FUTStock, and I think between the pair of us, we've tried to soldier on and make it happen, but for me, my heart hasn't been in it for a good while. I'm sorry to say that, but that's just the truth. And that stems from, as I said before, I know I'm talking in circles here, but Chemgate, and then coming back onto this, and then I think FIFA 17 shit. That is one of the biggest reasons. I said it on the first episode we did of this. I said, you know what? I think FIFA 17 is absolutely terrible, and nothing has changed my opinion. Really, I have tried my absolute best. The highlight being coming up with the 4-1-2-1-2 tactics and the narrow thing that people see, the wide defence that people seem to get a lot of joy from. But that was short-lived for me, really. Once the weekend league took its toll, and I realised basically that this was an addiction, a serious addiction that I liken to any kind of negative addiction that comes into you, creeps in, it's insidious. Before you know it, you're dedicating all your time to FIFA. I have people that I want to be with. I have people that I want to hang out with. I've been playing loads of different games. I mean, when I play Battlefield 1 and then I come back to playing FIFA 17, it makes me hate it even more.
I'll just stop you right there a second, because you mentioned the addiction thing, and it's something we covered on the show a couple of weeks ago, and some people thought it was brilliant, that we were quite candid about the fact that we're probably suffering with a degree of addiction in FIFA and Ultimate Team more specifically. And there was other people who sort of laughed about it and thought we were being overly dramatic or whatever. But
yes, they did.
The important thing to realise here is that it's making our, particularly on a Saturday when you're trying to put in 20 or 30 matches on weekend league, and it's not fun. At least we're not finding it fun. Other people might do. But one thing we did have lined up, and I regret that we're not going to get to do this, is we have a subscriber who is a specialist in addiction, who was quite impressed with what we had to say and sort of backed up our theories about it and wanted to come on and talk to us about it. And I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Can you imagine ending the podcast on that one? People think we're right kooks.
No, I mean, I appreciate him. He reached out to us, and obviously we reached out back and said that we'd like to bring him on. But he backed up a lot of what we had to say about addiction and all the things that I talked about. And he added some colour to it that we weren't able to from his background, his work. He was a professional, which I never claimed to be, even though someone claimed I had, pseudo-scientific. My fucking knowledge of psychology is excellent, even if I say so myself. It's not as good as a professional, but I never claimed to be one, and I caveated everything that I said. And for those that had any kind of experience, to go and seek a professional rather than come and seek me, because I couldn't really help them. The addiction side's a real thing. I realised after the weekend league and all that, I haven't played the weekend league for 4 weeks. I don't miss it. I don't miss playing FIFA. I've played it a little bit. Every time I come on, I just think, I cannot believe how poor it is. I don't know how to put it into context. You're probably just thinking, oh, you're just saying that now. But playing Battlefield 1 and then playing other games, and then coming back to it and realising how clunky and unresponsive it is. And that's a letdown of FIFA. FIFA hasn't always been completely unresponsive and laggy as it is now. So, if it was any other game, FIFA, the beginning when I got it, I would have sent it back. Infinite Warfare, I played it for 2 days and went, this is terrible. And I got a refund on it straight away. And I haven't missed out on playing that as far as I'm concerned. So the crux of it is, how are we going to do FUTStock when I don't even play the game and I don't even enjoy the game? And I've got no, the only loyalty I have is the fact that I feel like I want to come and talk to people about it. But that hasn't been enough as a driving force for me.
We're getting to a point where we're only talking about negative aspects about Ultimate Team, whereas there are still some positives. But for us, the shining's well and truly been taken off it now. It's a different beast to when we started playing it. It was like a shining beacon of innovation, and it changed our gaming habits massively. Now it's this insidious project by EA just to fleece people out of their money left, right, and centre. And the amount of suspicion still around the game, and I don't want to spend this whole episode talking about negatives, but whilst we were off for Christmas because I was in Prague and then the Christmas break, this momentum gate thing happened. And this is something that if this had been a normal episode, we would have probably spent a whole hour talking about, and a lot of people would have been pissed off about it. So it's kind of got to the point where we ran out of good things to say about the game, and there's no point just regurgitating the same negative shit over and over again. So we just have to sort of leave it be, unfortunately. But just to fill in some of the gaps, we haven't done a show since the beginning of December. That was because I was on a business trip to Prague for 2 weeks.
I'm a businessman.
Yeah, it was the intention to come back and just carry on after that point. And it didn't sit well with me that we had to go 2 weeks without doing one. But by the time I got back, I had no motivation to do another show. Me too. I was enjoying playing other games. I completed Doom and Titanfall 2 in the space of a week, and I really enjoyed playing those games. And I've played FIFA since I've come back. I qualified for the weekend league again this weekend, and God forbid I actually go ahead and fucking play it. But even if I carry on playing FIFA, and I'm probably going to, I just don't feel like I want to talk about it anymore. Yeah,
I feel the same way.
We've gotten to this point where we're these like almost punch bags on Twitter for people's opinion about the game, and it's not always fun to read. We welcome the fact that people wanted to contact us on Twitter, and I guess we kind of paid the price for that, because
absolutely.
The drawback of having people want to talk to you about Ultimate Team is you hear good stuff, but you hear loads of bad stuff as well. Or certain individuals basically wanted us to make every decision about Ultimate Team 4, which I just found really weird. I don't want to like slag off people who've given us support for us, but come on, you got to do some things for yourself in Ultimate Team. And part of the fun is the discovery or trying new things. You can't let someone effectively play the game for you by proxy. So be brave and make some decisions out there. And hopefully you've learned a thing or two by listening to our podcast or watching us on YouTube for the last 2 years. Hopefully we've educated a little bit of the community on how to trade and build interesting squads and what attributes to look for on players and FUTHead database that stand out other than the default stats on cards and things like that. I'd like to think we've left something good behind. But if we carried on, we destroy everything good that we've done, because we are getting to a point now where there's nothing good left to talk about.
No, I don't think there is. One of the great things that happened is I loved working with FUTHead. That was a great moment.
That was really exciting for us, because we started this in very early 2015. And just to give some context to people who aren't with us from the very beginning, we decided to do the FUTStock podcast, as it originally was, because we're frequenters of the Football 365 forum. There's a dedicated thread to Ultimate Team on there, and we found that we were getting asked the same questions on there over and over and over again. So we just thought, should we just do a podcast and we can put all these questions to bed? Like do one or two episodes, cover all the basics, and that's a resource for people to go to then. And it ended up being much bigger than we ever thought it was going to be. We did like 15 or so episodes of FUTStock in its original run. We got to interview Chew Boy, which was a massive hit online beyond our wildest expectations.
That was a takeoff for us. That Chew Boy interview was great. It's one of the best things that's happened out of the whole thing.
It's definitely the highlight, isn't it? And I wasn't even there for it, so fuck me. But yeah, interviewing Chew Boy was a massive highlight for the show, and that's when you sort of got talking to FUTHead, and they asked us to sort of come on board with them and sort of represent them as their podcast, which was so exciting.
But just so you know, I asked them, like, just for complete clarity of the situation, I said to them, why don't we just become an important part of the FUTHead network? And they said yes immediately, which was a great conversation. I mean, I've not spoken to Dan since, unfortunately. And I mean that since that initial conversation, Tom took care of everything, and Tom was ace with us. It was good to have him on board, and he helped us out immensely. Some people tried to make out at the point when we left it's because of Ken Gate and all that kind of stuff. We just decided we wanted to go back to being FUTStock again and just get things out quicker. That was it.
Yeah.
Tom never, ever, ever, ever told us what to say or do, ever. He only ever just uploaded it for us and thanked us for our work.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some times where you probably wish we hadn't said some things we did say, but we were never censored by FUTHead. The drawback was that we were high enough on their list of priorities to sort of promote us on FUTHead.com.
Yeah.
And our show wasn't growing as a result, and we couldn't get shows out as quick as we'd sometimes like to. So despite all Tom's hard work, sometimes it would take a day or two for a show to come out after we'd recorded it, which never sat well with me. I like to get things out as soon as they're finished. Like when we do FUTStock now, 2 or 3 hours later, it's out. And that's the way I like it. And that was my primary motivation for wanting to sort of go and do our own thing again. But it was already too late by that point. Our enthusiasm for Ultimate Team was already on the wane. Mm-hmm. And we've tried pretty damn hard every week. And it's not just a case of the hour that we're literally recording or what you see as the finished product. It goes into way more than that. It's researching certain things that are happening. It's reading all the news. It's playing games to get footage, or just playing the game in general, just to keep up to speed with things and engage with the community. And then replying to people on Twitter, on YouTube. And the community got a little bit toxic towards the end. Some people had very lofty expectations of what was possible from us, and we just couldn't aspire to those aspirations, which was a bit of a shame. I never thought it was going to get to that point. But we're not 16-year-olds who play FIFA all day, every day, and make a few quid on the side of flipping burgers at McDonald's or even Twitch for a career.
It's cost us money, FUTStock.
Yeah, that's one important thing to say. Whether it's with FUTHead Podcast or what we've done with FUTStock, we haven't made a dime, a single penny. It's cost us money in hosting fees and artwork that we've had done, and most importantly, a shitload of time that we spent away from doing other things that we didn't otherwise enjoy doing. So hopefully some of you will understand the reason why we're saying goodbye at this point. And it's a wrench because I've enjoyed sort of building this up, even when I haven't been enjoying FIFA as a whole. And it's important to know that we are involved in other projects as well. We're both members of the Retro Gaming Discussions Show podcast, which is far less demanding of our time. We do it very casually, and we're just two members of a much bigger group.
And we always enjoy it, actually, in all fairness.
Yeah, so we are involved in other projects, not just FUTHead, and they're all very demanding of our time. And Matt has a successful but demanding business that he runs, and I've got a very demanding job. I'm married. It's hard to juggle all these things. If only this had come around 10 years earlier, maybe we'd be doing something big and impressive on YouTube, not just this little show that we do once a week. But even just doing that just takes up too many hours now. So unfortunately, this is the end. We do have one thing that we want to talk about, at least just add a little bit of content to this show. And it's good news for everybody concerned. It's going to have a tremendous effect on Ultimate Team. It's also probably going to have effect on every modern video game going. And it's a story that's broken since around Christmas. And China have introduced a new law whereby they're going to require all video game developers to publish statistics on their RNG, particularly relating to loot-based systems. So any kind of random prize that's generated in the game that you have to pay for, so opening packs, that sort of thing, they're going to have to publish stats on what the likelihood of you getting that pack, a certain item in the pack is, when the last time someone got that item, how much money they spent to get that item. It's going to make things extremely transparent. Now, your initial reaction to this might be, well, that's in China, who cares? But we can see it. And the chances of them changing things in China and not doing it over here would be very strange. So you might actually find out in the very near future what your actual mathematical chances of packing Ronaldo. And I think there'll be a bit of backlash when it happens, because we know for sure that it's astronomical numbers. We just don't know what the actual number physically is.
This has always been an issue, hasn't it? Like, we've always, I mean, for example, it started in FIFA 10 Ultimate Team, or did it start in FIFA 09? I always forget.
I think it's 09. Pretty sure it's 9.
09, 010, 10, whatever. The thing is, in that time, God knows how much money I've spent on it. God knows how many packs I've opened. I have still never opened a Ronaldo or a Messi. This year, it's been the only time I've opened a player over 90 that was a non-inform, and that was Manuel Neuer. Who, of course, not really the player you want to see with over 90, let's face it.
That's a little bit overkill. You don't need a 90 rated keeper, but anyway.
Well, 92, he's 92 this year. He's pretty ridiculous. But one thing that's going to happen with this is that this extra level of clarity, this extra level of transparency, people are going to know what they're going to get in for a lot more. People are going to respect this like a casino. I hope they have to publish them. I hope they have to put it up when you come on to FIFA Ultimate Team, when they get Martin Tyler to go, hello there, welcome to Ultimate Team. And would you like to select your team? And then you could do a substitution. By the way, these are the odds of what you'll get for a player. I'd love that. That's where I'd like it to be. Because then you just have people just sit there and just say, well, actually people will talk like us and just say, doesn't sound like a good idea, buy packs. Like, it doesn't sound that great. It sounds quite awful and a bit like gambling. And then, of course, they'll try and spit it and say, but all the content you get, you always get, no matter how much money you spend, you get content. It's just like, yeah, but
yeah, it's not anything anybody wants. And this isn't like an anti-pack segment. I enjoy opening packs. I'm sure most people do. They're designed to literally fire off parts of your brain to enjoy releasing endorphins and all that stuff. So the science is there. You should enjoy opening packs, and therefore you do. The problem is that certain items in the database are just too hard to attain. And let's say, if I was to ask you, what do you reckon Ronaldo is worth in real money? If you pack him, what do you reckon it's worth?
What, somebody should pay me for him?
Yeah, let's say it was like the CSGO market and you can sell stuff. What do you reckon Ronaldo is worth?
Oh, if it's CSGO market, then we're talking about a whole different kettle of fish, aren't we? For a non-informed Ronaldo, but I mean, I think it'll be good value in the grand scheme of things if you've got an open pack to try and get him. If somebody offered him to you for £1,600, £1,600.
It's very precise.
I'd think, yeah, it's about right.
Okay, so like 1,600 quid.
And that's probably undershooting compared to like CSGO. Some skins on that go for obscene amounts of money. But the thing I was just going to say is a caveat that if somebody was to offer a striker Ronaldo in form for sale, £4,000.
What I was going to say is, I reckon if you had a day one Ronaldo and it was an open market where people could buy and sell things from each other, someone would buy it off you for 10 grand.
Oh God! Maybe.
But that means if the only thing that you want out of a pack is Ronaldo, every time you open a pack and you don't get it, you're overpaid for that item. Because I'm only opening packs to get Ronaldo, and let's say the RNG works in the manner where it's going to cost you £10,000 on average. Someone might get him on the first pack, but the average person would have to spend 10k to get him. It's absolutely astronomical. Would people carry on? I think they probably would, because we're all pretty stupid, but it would change people's the way they look at packs and look at RNG loot systems and video games in general. And it would force them, because they have to remain competitive with each other, they're all going to have to jiggle the numbers of those RNGs to make them a little bit sweeter. Whether it's a case of raising the price of packs but bringing down or raising the likelihood rather that you would pack him. I don't know how they would do it, but they'd find a way to make it more appealing in light of the revelation of this Chinese law. And if people are wondering why is China such a big deal, China's the biggest gaming market in the world now. They love video games, and they love big online multiplayer gaming in particular. So if you imagine stuff like FIFA, Call of Duty has its own unique version to China, like World of Call of Duty or something like that.
Call of Duty Online,
that's the one.
It looks absolutely phenomenal as well.
Yeah, which we don't have over here. Stuff like Hearthstone and Dota 2 and all that good stuff. Absolutely massive in China, and the market over there for RNG stuff's worth billions on its own, never mind the cost of purchasing a game or if you make it a freemium or whatever. So they're leading the way on this, and hopefully other countries will follow suit. But just the fact that information is going to be available through China, it's going to have a big impact on Ultimate Team and video gaming in general. And I'm really pleased that it's happening, because it's all well and good if you say, well, I can afford to open packs, I'm not that bothered how much I spend to get what I want, and that's fine. But it's good to know, so at least you can say, well, I'm comfortable with the fact it's going to cost me £2,000 to get Suarez, £5,000 to get Messi, £10,000 to get Ronaldo, whatever it happens to be. Because at the minute we're just shooting in the dark, and if EA are turning around and saying no, it's completely random, anyone can get him in one pack, the line, only so many Ronaldos will ever be in the Ultimate Team database at any one time, whereas Nathan Dyer is there in hundreds of thousands, millions. So it's not random. There's only a certain quantifiable number, and it will always be capped. There's going to have to be X number of new items go into the database before they let a new Ronaldo come out, and it's hundreds of thousands. I'm quite sure of that. But we will know what the exact number is in the near future.
Good. And it is a good thing. And obviously this comes into all the other games that have packs or loot crates that you can open up. These companies being honest about it is only a good thing for consumers. and it won't stop them from making money because people still go to casinos and gamble, and they still play the lottery, even though they know the actual jackpot is something ludicrous now, like 25 million to one. It used to be 14 million to one, but it's bigger now, isn't it? I think.
So yeah, that's the sort of last thought we want to leave you with. Really, is that by all means continue to enjoy opening packs. That's fine. You're just going to get a big rude awakening when you find out exactly what your chances were of packing that super desirable item that you've always wanted, whether it's Ronaldo or somebody else. And it'll probably make us all look a little bit foolish. But that shouldn't necessarily detract from your enjoyment of FIFA, but it just might make you reevaluate what's the priority in the game, whether it's the actual gameplay itself or the gambling aspect behind opening packs, that sort of thing. But it is going to be a big game changer across all of video gaming, that's for sure.
Yeah, what can you say other than positive things about it? Obviously, it's a kind of a negative thing because it plays into our hands about the whole not buying packs thing. But this is where we're at now, and I think that it's important for people to know this kind of stuff and make hopefully better decisions with their money. And maybe it will push back a little bit against this whole microtransactions thing. Buying games now is such a minefield. You have to double check now to see that do you get everything? Does it got DLC? Do I get all the weapons in certain games, for example? Yeah, I don't like that direction. I've got to be honest.
Maybe it's just a sign of us getting old, but the industry is changing massively, and we were just reading about an article about the original FIFA 94 a couple of days ago, and I'm sure they couldn't foresee when they made that game just how monstrous a series FIFA was going to become, and that the fee you pay to own the game is going to pale in significance to the amount of revenue they could make from other areas of the software, like they are doing now. So it's very strange, but for what it's worth, we've really enjoyed playing Ultimate Team in general. I just don't want to talk about it anymore.
I know. It's like, even now, it's like, God.
We're droning.
It's very true. It's very.
Our glass is half full when it comes to Ultimate Team. We've had our fingers burnt too many times, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like now I'm just. It's like when you can feel your heart starting, all that enthusiasm going on, that passion. It's just like the energy to put into it, and like get something out of it. It's bizarre, but yeah, it's like now when you talk about it, it's like trying to push a bloody boulder up a hill. It's a shame, really. It's ever so bizarre how it's changed with us, but we can't help it for the other point. It is an honest reflection of it. Was there anything else we had on the agenda, Mets?
Not really, other than to say, we are podcasters in general. We don't just do FUTStock. So if you're interested in hearing what we have to say about other things, I occasionally do content for the Fail Critics movie podcast. That's at Fail Critics on Twitter. We're both involved with the Retro Gaming Discussion Show. That's RGDS Podcast on Twitter. So you can hear more from us there, and we'll probably turn up on there every now and then for the foreseeable future. And you know where to find us on Twitter if for some reason you want to say hello. But this is it. This is the last goodbye for FUTStock. So we hope that you've enjoyed all the advice that we've given you, all those silly informs, those goddamn terrible parody tunes we did on FUTHead, all that good stuff. But we're going to hang up our mics as far as FIFA is concerned, and we wish you all the very best, and of course, don't have nightmares.
It's really over. Oh, that's awful. What can I say?
No, you're all right with it. Sometimes it's just right to move on, so that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I am glad it's done. I'm sorry. I hope you made this to the end. But if you have, if you didn't, we don't blame you. And you got a track to see us out, haven't you, as well, hopefully.
Yes, we do, yeah. So sit back and enjoy the tune. It kind of sums up our feelings on the matter. And good luck if you're playing the Weekend League, of course. And we'll perhaps see you around, or if not, thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, yeah, thanks for coming along and, say your patented stolen goodbye. Oh, yeah. It's all gone.
All those good stuff, yeah. Don't have nightmares, and thanks very much. See you later.
Right.